Hi, Zach Martin here with ESM Technology, and today I want to talk to you about creating your first fixlet. Talked in the past about fixlets versus tasks. Let's just recap on the difference between the two. So for fixlets, they answer the question, does something need to be fixed? With tasks, you want to answer the question, do I want to just perform an action on the device? You really want to use fixlets for patching, security settings, configuration drift, required software, remediation. Remember with fixlets that they're heavily dependent on relevance, client relevance, to determine if something has been or has not been fixed after the action has been taken. They'll always end with the action state being fixed or failed. Tasks you want to use for maintenance, diagnostics, ad hoc scripts, and forced actions. Tasks generally aren't used in policy actions where you reapply the action. Tasks generally don't need complex relevance to determine if the action has completed. Let's talk about creating a fixlet. What do we need? In this example, we'll be enforcing the state of a Windows service. So what do we need the fixlet to actually do? In this example, we want to ensure that the print spooler service is running at all times. If the service is found to be stopped, a PowerShell script should then run to restart the service. And what do we need to accomplish this? Really, two ingredients. We need relevance to check if the print spooler service is stopped or running, and we need a PowerShell script that can restart a service. Let's get into creating the fixlet. So on my test device here, I have the services pulled up, I have the print spooler service pulled up, I have the fixlet debugger to test the relevance, and I have the PowerShell window open to test the script. So right now the print spooler service is stopped. Our relevance here is checking that the service spooler exists whose state of it equals stop. So we're looking to see, one, does the spooler service exist? And two, is it stopped? We should get true now. Once I start the service, this relevance should return false, and it does. So at any given point, what we want the fixlet to do is go out, see if the spooler service is stopped. If it is, it will return true, which will mean that the fixlet will be applicable to run on the device. Once the fixlet has ran, it will then flip the relevance to false, indicating success of the action. Let's test the PowerShell script for the restarting of the service. Right now the print spooler is stopped. We'll run the PowerShell to restart it. And now the print spooler is running. So these are the ingredients needed to build the fixlet. Let's go to the console and actually build it. First, we'll go to Tools, Create New Fixlet. We'll place it in a custom site. Let's name the fixlet Restart Print Spooler Service, if stopped. In the action script, we can select PowerShell. We'll paste in here the script that we just executed. In the relevance, we'll paste in the relevance that we were just testing on our test system. With our fixlet now created, we can see that while the service is stopped on the device, that it is applicable to the fixlet now. Let's take action, and in this case, let's do a policy action so you can see the benefit of using a fixlet. The important bits here are on the execution tab to reapply the action whenever it becomes relevant again. This means if the spooler service is found to be stopped on the device, that the script will execute again and again as long as it detects that the spooler service is stopped. We can see while we're monitoring the logs that the action just ran, our print spooler should now be running, and it is. If, for example, the service crashes or we stop the service, the fixlet should execute again. We can see after a few minutes that the action became relevant again due to my service having been stopped, and it should now be started again. Yep, print spooler is running. In this example, we enforced a service to stay running, but you could also enforce configuration changes on a device, maybe for security settings. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of how to use fixlets and how to create your first fixlet.